Let's go. Legend. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hi, welcome to the Comic Con Community Podcast. My name's Will, and today joining us is Jasmine Kheen. Hi, Jasmine.
Hello, how's it going?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you for
So,
having me on
Jasmine,
today.
anytime. Jasmine, you're an actress. You was born in Norway. When did you come to live in the UK?
So I've been in the UK now for 5 or 6 years. I lived in Spain before then, and I studied at a British college, and then I ended up getting into acting school here. So that's kind of how I ended up here, and then I was very lucky to come during the settlement scheme. So all of my other friends are having a bunch of like visa issues getting into the country, but I've been good so far.
So, did you want to become an actress in Norway? Did you start very young? And then how did that all come about, Norway to London?
Yeah, so I remember, I think my earliest memory of like acting is being in kindergarten. And my mom's a single mom, and she would sometimes have to bring me to her classes because she was studying theater. Because I think she wanted to be a drama teacher at one point. And so I remember like laying on the floor, it's like 6, maybe even younger, lying on the floor with my blanket and my iPad or like a tablet or some kind of film and looking up at her and how beautiful she looked and like the stage lighting and the costume and how fun it was and so that's kind of my earliest interaction with it, and I think that has sort of stuck with me. And so I did some theater here and there growing up. Would always choose drama at school if I could, and then I did a couple musicals in Spain, and then I kind of got to a crossroads where I was like, okay, do I want to pursue a career in the army in Norway, or do I want to go into acting and move to England? And so life kind of made that choice for me where when we moved to Spain, there was something with our address. I had never received my letter to be called in, even though I was training for the tests. So, but I never got to actually go to the test. And then I got into acting school and I thought, all right, that's it. Life's chosen for me. This is what I've really deep down been wanting to do, but it's a scary choice, and then I kind of just sort of went for it.
That's completely different paths, army or acting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the discipline that one actor should have and don't always have, and the discipline in the army could like cross over, and I think the structure and like how I think there's a lot of qualities that you learn in the army from having been there, um, that help strengthen you not only as a soldier, but like as a person and in life and as an actor. And I think a lot of the discipline kind of, yeah, coincides what you need to
It's
have
having
and
having principles, really, isn't it? Like you said, the principles
principles,
and being
discipline,
on time. Yeah, being
being,
on time.
yeah, being on time, taking care of yourself and your health and those around you. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work being an actor. So, it's funny. Me and my friends always say like, "Oh, we could never see ourselves in an office or doing a 9 to 5," but then we're sat here working like all hours of the day, every single day. Even like say today, I've just been obviously in Cannes, and in Cannes, you gotta go hard or go home, which is why I'm also losing my voice. And it's been fantastic, but then it's like having to get up in the morning, this morning, really early, coming back late, getting up this morning, I had 3 tapes to do, then I had to pack to go to the airport, and then got home, and now I'm here chatting to you, lovely people. It's incredible, and I'm having and, like, I have so much fun with it, but it's so hypocritical of us in a way to be like, an office job takes up your whole life. Why would you do that? Whereas we just missed spending the 17th of May with my family as well, which is Norway's National Day. So, but I think in a way it's all worth it. It's so fulfilling and it's so different, and you get to experience so many different things that you wouldn't in another job. So, yeah.
So you mentioned your was your mum in theatre? Was your mum into acting then as well?
Yeah, so she was studying to become a drama tutor at university. So a part of that is also acting. So they would have like some productions and stuff, and I would come and watch her. And I remember this really weird specific one. Does some color lights. And then there was another one that I was completely traumatized by, where I was like everything was black and white on stage, like the costume, the makeup, and then someone got like shot, and like you just had the red blood seeping out, and that's probably why I like horror movies. Maybe that's what fucked me up. No, I'm just- but but I just remember the smell of it and like the excitement of I don't know the prop
Do you
guns
think
and
that?
the reaction and the emotion and the experience and yeah.
So do you think that inspired you, like to become an actor because you're seeing all these different characters, different, like say, costume changes and stuff like that? And
Yeah, I think my mom's a huge part of why I wanted to act. She's always been super creative and she's never really had one career. She's done so many different things, which is so fun. Um and I think acting kind of um encompasses all
yeah,
of that because I get to do so many different things within one job. And if that makes sense, like through acting, I get to try so many new different things. I've moved around a lot. Um, the kind of scatteredness that I hate, but I also enjoy because I'm a very like I'm a type A naturally like type A person naturally who's kind of had to become type B and be fine with that because in this job you have to be so flexible and you have to be ready. And things are last minute. It's not always I know where I'm going the next morning when I'm supposed to be there. Or like I could book a job right now tomorrow and then have to drop all my plans. And a part of me is that because I'm a huge planner and I also like ADing for that reason and production work. So I'm a naturally a huge planner and when things don't go to plan, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Then as an actor, you're very much out of control, out of the loop oftentimes. So but it keeps things exciting, keeps me growing as a person, and yeah, it's always good with a challenge and to challenge yourself, your personality as well, how you function.
I think we're finding a theme on this podcast when we speak to actors is we're noticing that everybody has a plan. Everybody's a big planner.
Yeah, everyone's a planner.
Yeah, basically all the actors, because like you said, they all like to have their lives planned, but like you said, it does like it's like a board where you're changing things all the time.
Oh yeah, no, it's very interesting. It's yeah, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of my friends are very like free spirited and kind of just go with the flow and they don't mind and but I like, knowing what's going on. And also I have some friends who are in the same industry but like in different parts and they're also so just like scattered in terms of like, yeah, maybe we should do that or like go there and then they're like, oh, I don't know anymore. And I'm like, my brain just freaks out. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah.
It does, it does. So
Okay.
you just said you come back from the film festival. How was that for you? How was that experience?
Oh, the film festival is incredible. I encourage literally everyone to go, who hasn't been. There's so many adventures. I have so many beautiful friends down there, and who I like learned so much from because they're all in different parts of the industry, and it's so incredibly interesting talking to these people and catching up because like a lot of the time I don't see them for a whole year, and we have so much to talk about, like personal, professional, and yeah, and it's this like almost chase of like that's very type B. Kent's very type B. You have to be flexible because all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, do you want to come to this thing now? You're ready." You just have to throw on a
Mm.
gown and run, and you don't really know where you're ending up, and you don't know who you're gonna meet, and sometimes you meet really incredible people that I wouldn't have had access to just being here, and yeah, so also with the film I'm making at the moment that I'm executive producing, it's been some really good meetings in terms of like, because we're closing financing on that at the moment and we're quite far ahead, but it's just closing the gap at the moment. So we've been having some really interesting meetings, some interesting connections, and this is the first year I've gone with a project. because you can go there and just network, and especially as an actor or just filmmaker, you can just go there and you can talk to anyone. You don't know what's gonna happen. Um, but this year was a little more focused, I'd say, in terms of trying to find specific things that we need for that production. It was great.
So, what was your first big acting experience?
I first like big acting. What would you define
For
big?
your first production, maybe like theatre, your first stage presence of,
Yeah,
yeah, because that's like when I think you make and break when you can tell I want to be an actor. So when you did the first show and you was a lead character or something, maybe I've heard other actors say, they can go, this is for me, and or it's not for me, and you find out yourself there and then. You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
interesting. I mean, for me, I think it's always been this like kind of internal feeling of what I want to do. I used to dance. So I was with a dance school when I was younger, and I remember I remember my first I remember one play as a kid, and that was I was like a boy. I was very much like, no, this is my scene, this is my part, because someone else almost took my role, and I was like, no. I can't remember how old I was. I was in like children's school. I was very young. Um, but I remember a little older than that, I used to dance a lot. I did contemporary. That was my favorite. I did ballet and like some jazz, and I tried hip hop, but I'm awful at hip hop. And then I'm just not cool, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I remember my first role. We had like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and I was like one of the dwarfs. That was my first like dance solo, and they kind of made up a dwarf called like Sleepy or something like that. And so my dance was like this contemporary one. I had a spotlight and a big stage, and yeah, it was special. It was really special. Um, I don't know if there was a defining moment where I fully knew, but I think the last final decision of like I am jumping in this with both legs was the army or uni. That was that year, and it was super stressful. I went through a lot of because I'm such an overthinker, as we all probably are. But yeah. And then that's probably the biggest leap I've taken is moved to England at 18, 2 days after I turned 19. Um, and yeah, and gave it a shot.
So we was doing some research and we stumbled across that you played Elizabeth Bennet in Pride and Prejudice. What is that? Because my wife's a massive Pride and Prejudice fan and she didn't know about that one.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So I'll clarify. So that one, that's a vertical drama. I've been doing some vertical dramas as well. So that was my first ever lead. I was very lucky. I was supposed to do another period vertical drama. I was penciled in, but they just released me. They're lost. No, can you tell I'm salty? I wanted that. It's okay. I'm sure.
They're
I'm
lost.
sure.
They're lost.
This is like little Jasmine coming out again, being like, "Yo, that's my part." No, it's okay. I'm sure the actress, whoever they went with, is incredible. But it was a really special experience for me being on Pride and Prejudice because it was my first time ever doing anything period, and I've been told that I could have a face for that, and it was my first time ever doing something in an accent as well. So I had no idea that I was going to get it because I didn't think it was good enough at all. And it's also like one of the biggest vertical drama apps and first lead. And it was incredibly stressful, incredibly painful because the corset, the heels,
That was my next
the
question. Did you have to
15
wear the
hour
corsets?
days. Oh, yeah. And I liked it. I liked it, but it was when you got to, I was in pre-call at 6 a.m. every day, and we finished around like 9, 10 p.m. and then have to go off and learn my lines for the next day because we got the whole script a couple of days before, and you just don't have time to learn all the lines before set. So, and then having to run to the bathroom and underskirts and heels, and there's no time. It's like, Jasmine, where are you? I'm sorry. And I'm like, I'm peeing. So it was incredibly stressful. It was also an incredible experience, and I would love to do something more period, which is why I was very excited about this one.
Did they
It's
tell you
good.
to breathe a lot when you're trapped in the corset? Yeah.
No, but I mean, it helps with performance. it helps with performance, because I mean, in that time, although it's a vertical drama, so it's modernized. It was more so like Bridgerton, but even so, you're supposed to kind of have those the gait and like your posture and the accent that I'm not gonna do for you guys right now because it'll suck. Um, it
It's very
helps with all
British,
of
isn't
that,
it? It is
how
very
contained it
British.
is.
It is very
Yeah,
British.
very posh RP. That's the only
Very,
one I can
very
kind
upper
of
lip and holding your teacup. Yes.
exactly. No, but it's so much easier to just do that because I think it's because it's exaggerated, so it's easier to do like yeah. Can you guys do an American one?
No.
I'm
No,
not
me
even gonna
neither.
try.
I'm trying though.
No.
No, I'm
Especially
fair.
not with my accent. Yeah.
No.
My accent. No, I can't do your accent though.
So, did you know about Pride and Prejudice? Did you know what it was about, and before you got the part? Or
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd watched the film actually, which shame on me. I watched it after doing it. But at the same time, I feel like I quickly looked it up. I feel like I related to the character a lot, or at least the character that I performed. I don't know what people think if it was her enough, but the kind of like the like little anarchist within her, contained by like the time and the circumstances, and then her yeah, she's very like cheeky in a sense, and
yeah,
she's not afraid to like speak her mind, and I love that. And what I wish, obviously, with the vertical drama, it has to be a lot of like mockery. There was a lot of scenes where she's just getting bullied and bullied and bullied and doesn't do anything about it. And I do feel like for a vertical drama character, she stands up for herself a lot, but still in these vertical dramas, it's very common for the leads to just be or the characters leads to just be treated horribly by the people around her. Um, so yeah, it was a good experience, and it was a lovely team working on it. So yeah, and beautiful dresses. We worked with I think it was Jenny who was on costume from if I remember correctly, and Amelia. The hair she was on. I'm pretty sure it was Amelia, but they were a team of makeup artists from Bridgerton, and they were incredible to work with. And like doing my hair for an hour, just curling in like pin like the smallest little curls and doing all these updos, and I had a real wedding dress on, and it was really cool. It was really cool. Mm.
so where can people watch that? Do you know where they can find that?
Yeah, so that's on Real Short on the app. I'm not sure. I think it might be uploaded for free now because it's been so long on YouTube if people want to watch it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
my wife does.
that's on YouTube. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, yeah, no,
She was
I
like,
think
Pride
it's
and
free on
Prejudice, I'm in,
YouTube.
find it me, find it me, find it me.
Oh my God,
She like,
I hope she likes it because just warn her, it's a verticalized Pride and
yeah.
Prejudice. It's not completely true to the story, but it's it was, yeah. I think we did well for a vertical drama, and I'm very proud of it. And it ended up in the Guardian and ITV and Deadline and like quite a few places around the world, which was really cool for me. Because that never happened to me before. I was like, wow, didn't know vertical drama could, you know,
I think it's because
give me
such a
these
big character, because
experiences.
like I said, Elizabeth Bennet is
Yeah.
such a iconic big character.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think I realized at the time because, and I think it was honestly good that I didn't like realize at the time because I showed up to a chemistry call, and my attitude was kind of arrogant in the sense of like, and I don't feel like this way with all roles, but I feel with sort of some roles, I feel, yeah, this is mine. I don't even need to try. Like this is mine. Um, and I showed up and I spoke to there were some of my friends as well who were there at the chemistry call, and we had to like read in front of each other. And for some reason, I think because I didn't know that I didn't put so much pressure on myself, and I could just go for it. And I think it worked out somehow. I don't know. Yeah.
So
So
you
yeah,
sound
I
like
know.
you connected with that character.
Yeah, I really did. I really did. And I really felt like, I mean, there was the accent parts. maybe that was it. I went in with the attitude of I'm not gonna get this, but I love this character and I'm having fun with it. And that's how it happened because I was like, I'm not getting this because of the accent. I can't do the accent. But luckily the clients are American, so they didn't mind if it was a little off. So got away with it.
So you're in a film called The R.I.P. Man. How did that come about?
Yes.
And what's it about? Tell our viewers what it's about.
Right. So the R.I.P. Man is a horror slasher detective thriller, which you can watch on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. And yeah, it follows a killer who has this rare oral condition called anodontia, which is basically this dental condition where you're born without teeth. Um, and so he starts hunting down this group of teenagers, and then it's up to a detective to try to solve the case, and for the teenagers themselves to try to stay alive while being hunted by this guy who wants to rip out their teeth to keep them for himself. So I play Clarissa. I'm a part of the friend group who gets hunted. Donnie, she's the girlfriend of Donnie in the friend group. And she's quite, grounded and, keeps to herself and she's kind of like the strong, like kind of the foundation, not the foundation of the friend group, but she is like she tries to be calm and collected, to be there for her friends, even though she doesn't necessarily feel calm and collected. Um, so I think she very much puts up this front sometimes of just everything being okay or like holding back feelings a lot. Anyway, so I just applied to this on Mandy, side of Mandy, just a casting site where you can apply to things if you're unrepresented. I was represented at the time. I'm still represented now, but with an amazing agent. By the time I was with an agency where it was just shit. I didn't hear anything. I might as well have been unrepresented. And so um, yeah, I applied and we all met up at a pub. Our recall was at a pub. So I think we did an initial
Yeah.
tape. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Then they invited us to a pub and they sat us down, Jamie and Reese, and they told us, well, we could call you guys in for, to do a monologue. But we already know you can act. That's a bit useless. So we just want to like invite you guys down, have a look at the script, talk amongst each other, see how everyone works within within the group, because the group dynamic is like obviously really important in the story. And then yeah, they ended up texting me, asking me if I wanted to come shoot with them, and I was over the moon because I booked my first feature film and a horror film as well, nonetheless, which I love horror. So the R.I.P. one's a really, really special project for me. I've been incredibly excited to be a part of.
So when you're reading a script, does it have to grip you? Do you have to like? Is there any way you'd be like, oh no, or you know what I mean? Does it have to grip
Yeah,
you to say, do you know what? I can put myself on this.
yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, I say yes, but then again, I do vertical dramas. No shade to vertical dramas, but it's like
Mm.
even like say today, I got in a tape for a vertical drama, and it's just type, and this is nothing new. This is like such a stereotype, like uh a girl being put up for auction to be sold, and then yeah, and I'm just like, bro, I don't want to do this. But then you do it. We gotta
Yeah,
make money somehow, and it's better that
we've got to
I
pay the bills.
act.
We've got to pay the
Exactly.
bills.
It's better that we pretend than like actually doing something like that, you know? No, but yeah, no, so but I think with features and stuff, I think it is quite important that you like the story, that you like the script, that you want to put your face on it. I think also though, like when you're starting out, you're less picky.
Yeah.
I'm less picky now that I'm gonna be in a couple of years. And I think the R.I.P. Man script is incredibly strong. What I did find frustrating though is, and this is nothing to do with the guys, but Clarissa had, and she still is, but there were a few scenes that were cut, sadly, that were so amazing for her. That just positioned her as such an incredibly strong woman and character, and um because originally she's the one who saves Donnie at the end, and I love that she was kind of like they had this, like, I feel like it showcased their relationship in a whole different light that you might miss a little bit now in the film. But the film now is amazing. It's just, I think, yeah, my scene got cut. I dare they. Joking, I'm joking. I honestly, I love them. I love them, and they've done such an incredible job. And no, it's a beautiful film. Now plus three, the music for it as well. They're a really good band, so I want to check that out as well.
So where was it all filmed?
It was all filmed in Worthing, which is where most of the guys like Jamie and Reese are from. Um, and it was really fun. I would get on the train, and I remember this one particular day I was shooting a vertical drama. Well, um, and I was up north, and I wrapped in the evening, had to jump on a train and go down to Worthing, check into a hotel, and then 8 a.m. the next morning. I got back at like 11, 12, 1. It's really late down to Worthing. And then up next morning and shoot on a serious project that I didn't feel fully prepared for, and then go back to the vertical drama. So that was really intense. But Worthing's beautiful. Brighton's beautiful. That's nearby. And yeah.
So you've mentioned vertical drama a few times, just a few times. Can you tell this old man what a vertical drama is?
Okay. All right. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. So, but it's a completely new industry. It's still emerging. It's being spoken about in Cannes. Netflix is opening their own vertical thing. BBC have just made a vertical thing. Like, it's becoming pretty big. And who knows where it's gonna go, if it's all gonna be AI, because it's moving that direction as well. But we'll see. But it's basically it's a feature film cut up into 1 to 2 minute episodes. So you'll have about like 56 episodes that you can watch on your phone and scroll. And all the storylines are highly dramatized. So it's like telenovela or K-drama. And I love K-drama, but this is like the really shitty ones. If that makes sense. Like it has to have a hook, and it has to keep you engaged because it plays on people's retention spans. And while while I'm saying a lot of shit about it now, I do also love them. I love being a part of them. I love K-drama, like I said, and sometimes I feel like I get to be in a K-drama, and I've gone to China with it, and gone to Bucharest to shoot one, and I've grown so much as an actress because of doing them, because they're so intense. And you work with some wonderful people, and it's honestly a great thing that's just kept people in the industry in work. And it's also, for me, um it's given me a lot. So actually, I feel really bad for shitting on it all the time, but it's not. It's like I told with the story, it's a lot of negatives as well. It's tough. But yeah, I the first like 7 to 10 episodes are free online, and then you have to jump on their app and pay to watch.
It actually
So
makes more sense now, because that's what me and Will was wondering with Proud and Prejudice. It was like the 74
yeah,
episodes are 2 minutes long. We're a bit confused, but no, we actually you've
yeah,
you've educated us.
yeah. No, no, but that's what it is. It's insane. And then you have to like unlock them. And I know people pay for several apps, and because people get very invested in these, and there's a whole fan base out there. And I think it adds like a really nice community for, um, yeah, for
So you
people
mentioned
to
you
watch.
mentioned you mentioned AI there. Are you scared of AI? Is it as an actor?
I'm not scared. I'm kind of like, if you can't beat them, join them. Shouldn't say that, should I? But no, it's like I have friends who, like, just now in Cannes as well, and I saw them now, and I think they're working on. No, actually, maybe I shouldn't mention that online yet because it's not launched yet. Anyway, I have okay. I have friends who work with AI to help film, not to replace film.
Yeah.
And I think AI can be an incredible tool. It's the future. It can make everything so much easier for us. And okay, cool. Some jobs are lost. You find new jobs. There's always going to be new things popping up all the time. We're going to progress as humanity. I don't think it should be replaced, but it's like I just worked with Blake Ritter, and I think he uses it in a way of like for independent filmmakers to have access to locations and to have access to like way bigger things that are way cheaper than actually doing it yourself, or like it makes things attainable for people and for new filmmakers specifically who wants to do grand stories or epics, and you can't do that when you're just like I couldn't do that now because they're expensive as hell. So I think as long as, and I don't think he'll ever replace any of us, or maybe some of us, but like I think at the end of it, at the end of the day, I think people appreciate the humanity, and I don't know if AI ever will be able to recreate the humanity and the little imperfections in the actors and in the filmmakers that make the film so beautiful, because that's what makes us human. Like if it's too perfect, it's not really special anymore because it's not human. And I think that's what's going to be like a big differentiation of people will want human made things, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. And you saw just in the Oscars now as well, it's banned like what was it, a film with a AI lead or something can't win an Oscar. So people are fighting back and trying to protect everyone, and I think we just got to keep moving forward with it, and because we're learning, nobody really knows what's going to
No.
happen, how to deal with it. Yeah.
I think that's what it is, really. Like you said, for the visual side, for
Right.
the money side, perfect. But when you're replacing, like you say, people like yourself in work, that's what we're against too. You know, we we're all
Yeah.
for, like you said, the visuals and saving money. And like you said, you can be in the middle of Manchester and have Budapest around you and stuff like that. That's
Mm.
wonderful. But for replacing the actors, I think that's a no-no for us.
Yeah, but it's not just, because it's scary for actors, but it's also scary for people like editors and um but I think, yeah, like I said, it might be a niche, like an AI niche, just like anime or cartoons. You might have AI films, and that's just going to be in a different type of genre. And I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. I hope so.
So when I speak to actors, I like to get to ask this question because I think it's important. Because I always struggle with it, in the sense of when you're doing physical and emotional scenes,
Mm.
how do you shake that off? So say you've been filming for 12, 13 hours, something that's emotionally, really, really emotionally draining yourself, and then you go, ah, done. It's like, to me, that's just like, how do you do that?
I think it really depends. I think it really depends because for me, I like to stay in the performance, and then I am, especially if they want me to cry, I need to just stay in it. And I can cry for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours because carry around. Um, but if I stop, I might not be able to again. Especially on set where there's so much going on. You're trying to focus, but not focus too much. And um, but there are particular circumstances where it's more difficult. Like in China, it was my character was constantly abused, and I was hyperventilating, and I was getting hurt. And there's another vertical drama where I showed up on set, and I hadn't read the script on that one. I just didn't need the money, and I show up on set, and I was like, "Well, I'm getting kidnapped." It's like one, two, three. I was getting kidnapped 4 times in one day.
Wow.
4 times in one day. I got to the last kidnapping of the day, and thank God my line was like, instead of being like, "Please help," it was, "What do you want?" And at that point, I was just like, "What do you want? Like, can we stop?"
This is
Because
four
it's
times, right?
exhausting. No, because it's frustrating because you get to a point where you've been crying and crying and crying and hiding, yeah, get dizzy, and it's just
Yeah.
not really, it's not great. But then also there are difficult situations where, because as actors we bring, you bring a lot of yourself into the thing, and especially when it's something like that, you're thinking, oh, how is my body in fight or flight mode? Like how did I feel if I've been through something similar or comparable? Um, what kind of thoughts were going through my head? And that can be quite exhausting, especially when you're in environments or situations that hit a little too close to home. And it's great because you can use that super, it makes everything so much easier. But at the same time, it might need a second. Just go offset and actually like be by yourself for 2 seconds and just ground yourself and be like, you're okay. Acting is not real. And just remind yourself that you're good. And some people don't like working that way. I think it's a really easy little hack to just jump into it. And it's
So is
therapeutic
that,
in a way. It's therapeutic.
can you shut off when you get home then? So you can, like you said, you've had a tough day, you get home and you just go, well, like you just said, that's acting. I'm done. I'm back to me.
No, my acting tutor always said like leave it at the door. Like
Mm.
what is it called with your feet? Like wipe your feet at the door or something. Like wipe your shoes at the door and leave it in the classroom. Um Not always. I think with the hours and everything, it can get quite physically and mentally draining. And I was doing a longer project in Paris last year, and it was incredible, but it was so compact because we only had so much time and we had so many ideas for the character, and it was trying to bottle it down to it and getting to know her and figuring out costume, and it was and I just come from Cannes that year as well, and there were other things going on. It was really, and then being in a different country for the first time, and then when you then had those moments of like being alone, and you don't have to think about anything, you don't have to do anything. It's kind of like I think it messes with you a little bit mentally. But it was my first
Yeah.
time experiencing that. And I think also if you have a lot going on around, it's hard to not think about that when you're alone, unless you come home so exhausted that you just pass straight out. Then it's great. But yeah. Mm.
But so how does the auditions work now? Is it the self tapes that you send in, or do you have to physically have to go to auditions with the people stood in a room and you get to dance and do your thing?
Well, I have done that as well, but like I came in COVID. Sorry, I didn't mean to end my sentence there. But I came in 2020 to England and started acting then. So my world started digitally. So when people ask like, "Oh, what was it like before?" and I'm like, "I don't know," because I wasn't auditioning. It's always been types for me. I think it's great because you get to have that moment of like accumulating a performance. It can sometimes be frustrating. Like say today you have to go get up, get ready, you have to look a certain way and set it up. And like I didn't have a wall. I'm losing my voice. Like at the same time, if it was an in-person audition that I had to do, I wouldn't have been able to do them because I was abroad. And then it would have to be online and you don't have a second shot. And I like I like the taping way. But then yeah, and then normally you get called in for something else after, and if not, you just get casted straight off the tape. It differs depending on projects. But then yeah, it can be quite chemistry call and tailoring and all of those things as well.
I think, like you said, the taping one helps because, like you said, you can get yourself ready, you can get yourself focused, you can go, I don't like that, I don't like that. You can watch them before you send them off, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that can be like a blessing and a curse because you can get too stuck in it as well and be like, I'm spending way too much time in this because a lot of the time we didn't book it and that's okay. But it's like there's only certain tapes now where I'm like overthinking it, and I shouldn't because whenever you don't overthink it, that's when you book it. Normally, at least for me, because you're free in your performance. But there are occasionally tapes that I get that I want so bad. Where I'm like, this would be like checking off a dream. And then, if there's a dance in the script, you choreograph it. If I was setting up a whole scene, I like did set dressing and I made like lit it and I was like, probably did too much. But hey, I
So
hope because sometimes as well our tapes don't get watched. And I learned that recently as well from someone I'd worked with that hadn't seen, I sent in two tapes for a project, and they hadn't seen the second one that I wanted them
Yeah.
to see, and they just wasn't sent passed along to him, and I was like, interesting. Hmm.
So we spoke
And
to
it's nice because
Bethany
you're learning the
Weather.
lines, you're doing everything, and then yeah.
So we spoke to Bethany Weather, who played Dorothy in Wicked, and she was saying as well, like you say, you do so much tapes that you forget sometimes, and then somebody will ring you up your agent and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, you got that part," and you're like, "Which one?"
No, exactly. Oh, I've been there so many times where they're like, "Oh yeah, so I just wanted to call you and talk about that the tape you sent in," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and then just trying to navigate in the thinking because I don't want to be rude either and be like, "Which one?" Like
Yeah,
usually,
yeah.
and then it's like some wicked or something. Yeah, that's funny. It's hard to keep track of.
It's okay. Um, so you mentioned before you're not just an actor, you're doing a bit of writing, directing, producing. How are you finding that?
Yeah, so I'm not directing too much at the moment. I did like organize and I guess direct my graduation projects, but since then I haven't really directed much. But I'm developing a script at the moment with a friend of mine. So that's going to be something quite exciting, I think. I've just gotten some feedback and I'm going to be doing some revisions. And then, yeah, so that's one thing, but that's still very early stages. And then I'm executive producing a film, which is a psychological thriller. It's called Watching the Detectives. For now, we might change the title. Um, because funny story, I actually ended up sending the pitch deck to a producer friend of mine, and he was like, "Are you trying to pitch me my film?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "Look at my IMDb." And I looked at his IMDb and watching the detective, I was like, "Oh,
Watching the
fuck off."
detectives.
It was literally, yeah, it was literally the same title, and I didn't even know.
Oh.
That's embarrassing. Yeah, anyway, no, he took it well though. But yeah, so we might be changing the title, but it follows this detective who gets assigned onto a case and he ends up becoming obsessed with the victim, and slowly kind of loses himself in the case and her. His relationships around him kind of dwindle because of it, because she, in that case, becomes his whole life, and then he ends up committing crime for her, and then there's a twist at the end that the writer will kill me if I hint to or say anything about. You'll have to sign
So
on the
what?
EBS in your
Yeah,
life.
that's it. Yeah.
He said. Yeah. There's a twist. There's a twist. Yeah. And twists and turns.
So what is your
But
ultimate
yeah.
dream role or genre you're dying to tackle?
I think I have a few. I think if I had to pick one, it would be work with Darren Aronofsky on something like Mother. If I
Hmm.
had to. And then I have some fun ones that I really want to do. Like I want to be a Bond girl. I want to be Laura Croft. And I want to do like an alien movie. I'd love to, they're working on getting actors up into space. I'd love to be the first up in space with a production.
Wow.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna be the first at this rate, but hey, I'm putting it out there.
You never
Um,
know.
yeah, I think you never know. You never know. Maybe. Let's hope.
So you mentioned horror. You love horror. What is your favorite horror
Love
movie?
horror films. Yeah. Suspiria, Rosemary's Baby. I think those are my top two. I recently just watched Silent Hill
All right. Yeah.
for the first time, and that's a big cult classic. That was beautiful. I really liked that, and like the mood and tone they're able to set.
I was just about to say that the
Um,
setting, the mood, the tone of it, just even just having the one person walking in the dark and thingy, and just yeah, it's brilliant.
yeah, and just like the driving through the forest in the beginning of the film as well. Like, wow. Yeah. No, I love that one. Love that one. But yeah. What about you? What are your favorite films?
Oh, I'm old school. I'm the old Freddy's, Halloween's, uh, stuff like that. Nightmare on Elm Street. So I do like the Conjurings.
Yeah. Oh,
The
I
Conjurings are
love
good.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, pretty good. So what piece of advice would
Great
you give
movies.
one of our viewers who are looking into getting into acting?
Um, don't be afraid to fail and embarrass the fuck out of yourself in any
Yeah.
situation in life. You just gotta go for it and not seek failure, but don't be afraid of it and accept it and take it as wisdom and don't have an ego with it. Like, yeah, let go of your ego and don't be afraid to fail or embarrass yourself. And I think yeah. I used to be very like socially anxious when I first moved here. I've always had a lot of struggles with anxiety and that. And it was really bad
Myself
when
as
I
well. Yeah.
first moved here. Yeah, it's such a common problem that, we just don't really talk about it. But like, and because there's so much pressure on us, especially with social media, like there was before, but now there's even more pressure on us as people to be a certain way and to act a certain way and to live a certain lifestyle. And it's no wonder anxiety rates are going up. But yeah, but acting actually pulled me out of it because it was a form of exposure therapy by like just embarrassing the fuck out of myself continuously. And I remember once I had this phobia. I used to have a phobia of needles, and I got triggered by my tutor in class, and I had a panic attack. And she said, "Do the scene," and I was like, I couldn't realize it. And then I did the scene, and it felt so invigorating. I wish she would have let me go like straight after and have a moment because I think that's important, especially like I couldn't fucking breathe, and it was embarrassing as well, standing there crying. But sorry, I just went off on a tangent. But yeah, don't be afraid to fail. We've all embarrassed ourselves at some point, and you don't grow and you don't learn if you don't. So it's not a
I
bad
think a
thing.
point we try and get across as well is keep going, because like a lot of people just think you audition once, you get the thing, and that's it. Your life's complete, and it's not the real world, that is it really?
Unless you're no, and even for like, the whole Nepo baby conversation, I wish I was a Nepo baby. Oh my God. But even then you have to like work your ass off because it's not that easy to just be like, unless you're putting in a lot of money into the film, that's not gonna work because it all comes down to financials. Who's cast where? If they can afford it, they'll have someone without a name. Most of the time you can't because a lot of the funding comes from the cast. And that's the frustrating part. So make your own stuff. Don't give up. If you regret it later in life, you can always just redirect. Um, and you can always come back to it. And yeah, I think to be happy in life, you gotta follow your passion, you gotta follow your art. There are also so many jobs within the film industry that you could explore, and you don't only have to do one, which is like what I'm doing. Producing. I used to AD in uni. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And there's so many cool aspects within it. And it's also good networking for actors. So little hack there if you're out of work, you want to be surrounded by the industry and yeah, you're like productive working, making contacts, building network, learning about film, which also helps you as an actor. So it's a win-win.
So we're almost coming to the end. What's next for Jasmine Kheen?
What's next? Well, not the thing I was penciled in for at the end of this month. Um,
Get that little
well,
Jasmine girl out.
sadly, exactly. Well, no, I mean, the thing is, I've just had some exciting conversations. We'll see where that goes and can. And we're making this film. We're making this film. I've taped for a couple of things. So we'll see what's happening with that. My short film is doing, or the short film that I am, it's not mine, by Sasha Biesi and Irene Graziani. It's called Dance With Me. It's doing a festival circuit at the moment, and it should be out maybe later this year once it's done doing the festival round. So watch out for that. Um, I just did a little small social media thing with Blake Ritter, so that's gonna be coming out soon. Watch out for that. And then yeah, writing. Can't say much about that, but that's also coming. And then yeah, hopefully, yeah.
So
Oh,
busy.
I'm also just gonna be doing. I'm gonna be, yeah, very busy. I'm gonna be posting like monthly mini short films as well, just for fun, just to be creative and just to keep learning like filmmaking and learning a lot of things. Like the last one I just did, which I'm behind on posting. I just did the music for the first time, just played around in like a little music program that I had. So yeah, it's a little short film challenge that I have. So that's also gonna be happening. So if you want to watch any of that, there's a long spiel. It's just at Jasmine Kheen on Instagram and YouTube and probably elsewhere, but I'm not really active elsewhere.
We
Yeah.
will put all the links up, so if people want to follow Jasmine, please do, and just click the links, and it will take you to her pages. We'll sure get that up. We have one more
Mm.
favour before we finish. Is we try to make our podcast a little bit different. Is we have a bucket from the universe,
Yeah.
and we collect questions
Oh my God.
from the universe, and these are random questions that you'll never ever be ever asked in your life ever.
Whoa.
So
How are you so sure about that?
I promise you'll never be asked these questions.
Oh gosh, I'm scared now.
So
You're putting me on the spot.
it's just 5 questions, and they're just basically no explanation, just what it is, that's it. It's basically A and B, and that is it. It's just a little bit of fun.
All right.
So, what
I'm
TV show are
excited.
you watching right now?
Pursuit of Jade
There you go.
on
See, simple.
Netflix. Yeah.
Question two.
Wow. Just watch it. Yeah.
Question two. If animals could talk, which do you think would be the rudest?
The first thing that came to mind was cats. There's probably a better answer out there, but I feel like cats are really sassy, but like in a
That's
respectable
all we
way, if that
need.
makes sense.
Question three. Would you rather sip gin with Ryan Reynolds or drink tequila with Dwayne Johnson?
Oh, I think tequila with Dwayne Johnson.
There we go.
That sounds like
Question
a
four.
fun time.
It does. Question four. Would you rather live in a tree house or a cave?
Oh, a treehouse.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to live
I'd
in
be
a
scared
cave,
in a
but
cave.
it
I
might
mean,
be a
maybe if
nice
it's
cave. You never know.
cozy and it's probably also safer. No, it might honestly be nicer and more protected than like the treehouse, but treehouse. I like a good view.
And last question. You can only choose one. Would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef?
Oh, personal maid.
I love how
Personal
seriously you're
maid. We'll
taking these
deliver
questions.
the food. It's serious
No, I
stuff.
told you.
It's serious stuff
They
here.
are serious
Because
questions. Look,
the thing is,
listen,
like,
these
no,
questions
no,
are
no,
from the
because like
universe. They're
food, you
not
can
from
empty,
me.
just
So,
deliver
yeah.
it, you know? Exactly. Exactly.
So you're
The
putting your
universe is
answers
just
back
asking you,
out there.
what do you
So, yeah.
want? And then they're like, there you go.
Yeah. Well, thank you
It's
for
all in
joining
the
us. We know
matrix
you.
now.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We know you're
Yes,
super,
thank you so
super
much for
busy.
having me on.
So we're super happy you came on. And thank you again for your time. And we'll be checking you out for future things, and we'll be following you closely.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. It's been so lovely chatting to you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Yeah.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you very much.